Hey guys, what's going on? Avius here, and I want to go over with you one of my favorite guns to use in Escape from Tarkov. We're going to start right now. All right, now that we're in Escape from Tarkov, let's take a look at my favorite M4. Here it is, guys. This is my favorite M4 to use right now in Escape from Tarkov. Great overall gun, ergonomics of 74, vertical recoil of 44. Let's go into the firing range, try it out, see what we have, and then I'll go into the preset and show you guys what parts this is made out of. All right, here we are. Firing range. Let's try this puppy out. Make sure we're on full auto. Heck yeah. Let's try it with the red dot this time. Nice. All right, going down into my presets. This gun, absolutely amazing. One of my favorite. And here's all the parts that you need for it. I'm going to go through it part by part for you so you know exactly what you need to buy if you want to make my personal favorite M4 assault rifle in Escape from Tarkov. So, starting with the upper receiver, probably one of the most important things. I personally go with the MUR. It has the overall best statistics in the game as of right now for a M4. Absolutely amazing. Love it. We go to the barrel. The barrel of this gun is the 260 millimeter AR barrel. It's the short range. You can actually expand this a little bit if you want something a little bit longer. Perfectly fine. But you're going to need this barrel for something that's slightly shorter, easier to compact, easier to carry into a backpack. Also makes it really good for close quarter combats, like if you're in dorms or taking those tight corners in shoreline. Great gun all the way around. With that, you're going to want the SAI 10-inch rail for the AR-15. Again, very high ergonomics, good recoil reduction, everything across the board. Great gun. Great attachment for this gun. Let's go ahead and take a look at the buffer tube. So, I use the advanced buffer tube, and I use the gray one. I do not use the red because as of this wipe, the differences between the two aren't crazy. But the price difference typically is upwards of 50 to 70K depending on the time of the wipe. So I believe saving the money is more beneficial. That way you can put it into other places of the gun. Probably the suppressor, which we'll get to here in a moment. On that, I use the MOE carbine stock. You can actually use whatever stock you want. This is just the one that I personally use, so you can replace it with a CTR if you want. I just like this one because you can put on the rubber butt pad. I like the aesthetic. I like the look. They're basically the same thing across the board, but nothing too crazy here. With the mag, got to go with the PMag 60 rounders. They're the best things in the game. I have lost so many fights using just 30 round mags, so you have to use the 60s in my opinion. It's worth the money. It's worth the investment. The only downside is that you have to take a long time to repack these things. But, you know, being able to mag dump 60 rounds to somebody wins you more fights than it does loses you fights. With the grip, the good thing about this gun is you can max it out on ergonomics if you like with the Ergo PSG-1. But in reality, you can use almost any grip that you want because the ergonomics are still going to be 60 or higher. So if you want to save a little bit of money and still have high ergo, you can go with the stock AR grips. Great across the board. I use those on some of my builds as well. But this is where you can save money. Instead of buying the ergo, you can probably get something a little cheaper, like the Grawl or those Stark ARs. Still has very high ergonomics across the board. Not as expensive, though, which is always a good thing. Still, with that idea of saving money, you're going to want that 4.1-inch M-Lock guide because I put on the RK-1 foregrip. Now, There are other grips in this game that are far better, like the RK14 grip on a B25U mount, the canted, has one better ergonomics than the RK1. However, the price difference typically is about 20 to 30K, depending on time of the wipe. So one ergo difference, 20K, 30K, not worth it to me. The RK-1 typically is relatively cheap and provides you very good stats for what you're getting. Obviously, you can add the SE-5, you can add the shift, you can add different foregrips to get an overall better gun, but it's going to cost you a lot more money. So in my opinion, I think the RK-1 is the way to go. Now, when you're looking at lasers, it doesn't matter. I just put on the Clash. That is one of my personal favorites just because it's so easy to find. It's a laser. It's a flashlight. It's only -1 to ergo. It's not bad at all. Very good across the board. When you're looking at gas blocks, this is very important. Right now, we only have 4 in the game. Only one of them provides a stat boost, and that is actually the JP Enterprises Gas System -5B. I believe it adds a slight ergo boost. So I recommend using it on all of your AR system builds that you decide to use, simply because it's the best. The other ones don't do anything for you, and this one does. It's worth the investment, in my opinion. Going on to the muzzle of the gun. So I personally like to run everything suppressed if I can, if it doesn't provide too much of a hindrance or a penalty to the gun in which I'm using. In the case for a Colt M4, you can get away with the Daniel Defense setup. So that is the Wave muzzle brake and the Wave sound suppressor. That's 2 different parts. Typically, mid-wipe, they go for about 10K for the muzzle brake and about 50 to 70 for the suppressor. That can go up towards the end of wipe. But overall, that's going to add a great reduction to your sound. Also, your recoil and your handling. They provide a -14% recoil reduction, which is great across the board whenever you're trying to build this AR type system. It's worth the money, worth the investment, and I personally like to run everything suppressed, so that's why I run the Daniel Defense setup. When you look at sights, you can personally use whatever sight you want. I have been on a kick for the Bravo 4 with a PK06 on top, but each their own. If you want to run just a PK06 or any other form of red dot, go for it. This is just what I've been using so I can have a little bit of range to the guns in which I use. Love it to death. And then also, if you want to increase your stats for a little bit more money, especially with the ergonomics, you can look at the M-Bus front and rear sight, which I currently have equipped here and here. I think they each add +1 ergo to the overall build. So good, not necessarily needed. And same thing with the Raptor charging handle. I have it here simply because I can add it. I have the monetary value, but it's a +3 to ergonomics. There's a cheaper one that's a +1. And even the default one, you can get away with using it. So it's really up to you what you want to use. But there's some measures in which you can actually save money while building this gun. So what's the overall cost of a gun like this? Well, as of right now, which is a couple weeks before wipe, total cost for this gun is going to around you 368K. Mind you, that is very expensive, but there are some cost-saving measures in which you can make. As of right now, like I said, the grip, very expensive. You can probably find one that's cheaper. Also, the Bravo, 43K, very expensive sight to use. The Raptor charging handle, very, very expensive right now at the end of a wipe. I would recommend saving your money by getting the default one and putting your money into something else like the Daniel Defense Wave and B. You're going to get more out of it for roughly the same price if you were to choose between these two, and had 53K laying around you can, spare. That's where I would put my money, is in the suppressor, not the charging handle. But again, here is the entire parts list that I use for my gun build. Hope you guys enjoy. Until next time, see ya.